Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to The Heat is On, a streaming conversation and quiz show explaining all things climate change, environment, and sustainability. We are a part of a series of broadcasts from StreamAid, who are an ever-growing group of concerned businesses on a mission to find solutions, small steps, which, if done on scale, can make a difference in the planet's battle against climate change. This show is about conversation, it's about education, fun, and some powerfully hot sauces. As the planet heats up, so must the conversation, and we will illustrate this with our very own hot sauce challenge. So, before we move on, I'd like to introduce each of the guests who are taking part in some of this hot stuff.
Well, good morning, good evening, welcome wherever you are, wherever you're joining us from around the world. I'm David Bell, and it's a pleasure to be here with the StreamAid team and some special guests as well. Now, super exciting because this is our second edition of The Heat is On, and we've ramped it up a little bit this time. Myself and a Smith called Keith, who will be introducing himself very shortly. Well, let's just say we're on the attack. We're on the defensive. It's Bell versus Smith tonight. And I'm joined by Jacob Reddy, who we're going to hear more from very shortly. He's kind of here, there. But what tonight is all about is about having fun. King will explain the rules very soon. But I've been running businesses in excess of 25 years, helping small businesses, medium-sized enterprises to kind of get themselves further along the road, where they are today, where they want to get to, and how they're going to get there using technology to automate and systemize their processes. So I'm hoping tonight that I'm going to be able to use some of that technology around me to keep me on track and beat the Smithster. Jacob, welcome to my team, the winning team for this evening. Jacob, give us a snapshot. A young musician of entrepreneurial status as well. We met last year. You've been on the show a few times on Chatbox, but just give us a snapshot who you are and what it is that you do playing the guitar.
So yeah, I'm Jacob. Hello, everybody, and I am a as you said, I'm a singer-songwriter who does a lot of guitar playing and writing songs. And last year, how I met you was through a busking tour I did, where I played every city in England to raise money for a local charity called Darien House, and since then, I guess I'm here now, basically.
Good stuff.
Yeah, no, brilliant, Jacob. I'm going to hand back to King because that's Team Bell, and we're on a mission to succeed and win tonight.
Well, let's bring a Smith called Keith on the stage. Want to introduce yourself and your teammate?
Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, depending on where you are. I am a Smith called Keith. I'm cancer, and I like my nuggets hot. So anyway, I've been working in the advertising industry for way too long. I am the host of the Fuel podcast, which is a podcast for the advertising industry, about the advertising industry. We've got lots of interviews with excellent agency leaders. And the latest one has just come out. And we've just got an interview with Sarah Jenkins, who is the managing director of Saatchi & Saatchi. You may have heard of them. And backing me up and providing all of the expertise for my team, I have to say I've picked a real ringer here, is Mr. Craig Davies, who actually, going back, started this whole thing. I mean, it was a conversation with Craig that kind of kicked all this off. And so go ahead and introduce yourself, Craig.
Thanks, Keith. I'm Craig. My favorite color is blue. And I'm coming actually also from startup technology. Did a tour with some other companies that were not doing much for the planet. So you might know a large soda company making plastic bottles, and then working in the car industry. But then I came over to the other side and was starting up Tesla. So it was a very small shop when I was there. It was 150 people. So managed to scale that as being a sort of a catalyzer for Europe. And then now I'm in the food business, Impossible Foods, and really happy to be here because it's all about the challenges that we can manage, and we should really get at it. And I really appreciate the chance to be here. So let's get on it.
And
Keith, we're gonna really crush them.
Who is that guy with the beard?
Who is that chap with the beard? Indeed, Connor, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Connor. I'm a mechanic from the northeast of Scotland, and I'm here representing my company, Beat This Food Sauce Limited. I've shared some of the products you can see David holding up there, with the hope that there's some enjoyment and some extreme tasting notes passed on to all you viewers. So enjoy, yeah.
Right. Well, let's kick off the questions, shall we? So we're going to talk about COP26 held in Glasgow, and they had a pledge. The UK pledged as when they were part of Europe to reduce their gas emissions by a certain amount by 2030. Now, Team David, do you want to guess what percentage that might have been? Do you remember COP26 at all?
I remember it. I suppose, how memorable was it, or should it be? It's going to be one of the questions we should be asking ourselves this evening. In percentage terms, I mean, you're asking me something I've got no idea. I'm going to be just literally guessing. Keith, you go first.
No. Nice try, Dave, but no, that's a schoolboy error.
Okay. At this point, do I need to, by the way, get the hot sauce out? Is this the point? I've got to start trying.
I think so.
Yeah. So just check, Connor. Is this the one we need to get going with? Is this the?
Yeah. Well, you've still got taste buds. It'd be worth doing the original first.
Okay. I'm just trying to buy myself some time to think through the question, come up with an answer that's not going to make me look totally stupid.
I'll tell you what, don't worry, mate. I've forgotten what the question was.
Don't worry, mate. She can repeat it. I'm just trying to get the sauce out the bowl. This is.
I'll just repeat the question. So, with
it's a very easy answer. Do I have to also drink? Am I able to answer this before David? Is this also based on speed?
No. There's no speed. I just get to go first. Right, here we go. So I've got some of the sauce. Is that about right to get us going?
Yeah, that's perfect. Service nice.
Okay, well,
good luck.
Armand.
Go on. Oh, look at that.
Oh my.
Oh, nice little bit of crunch there.
I'll tell you what, that's good. It's just a tiny little bit of heat there, but that's good. That's really. Let me just finish that off. Right. Okay. So percentage terms, I don't know. I'm going to go for something ridiculous here because I think it's going to be ridiculous. I'm going to go with 9%.
9%.
Okay.
Team Smith, is that higher or lower? I don't know if you remember the Brucey days. Higher, lower.
He's got to go for a number. He can't go higher or lower. This is not playing the cards, right?
Wrong quiz show. That's right.
What was the question again? Say.
So the UK, they pledged to reduce gas emissions by 2030. By what percentage?
20%.
And what are you going to try on your sauces there, Keith?
Yeah, come on.
Foul. Red card.
Team.
Why are you getting your sauce out, Jacob? Do you think my good guess? Do you think we should change it?
You went for 9%, did you?
Yeah.
I've got 10 nuggets here, so I think you should go for 10%.
There you go. Can we put a change in? Are we allowed to do that, or is it locked in?
Oh, sure, why not? I mean, Jacob,
if it's 9%, now I'm going to be very sad.
And I'm going with the young man. He's got style, and I'm going to change 10%. We're going for.
And don't forget to try one of your sauces there, Jacob.
Oh,
man, Craig.
Yo,
come on, eat your sauce.
Well, I have to drink something, right? I'm going to try one of these plant-based nuggets. You can imagine what company they might come from.
Good stuff.
Very tasty.
With Carolina Reaper.
A bit more.
He's going straight in with a
From
hot one.
South Carolina. Right?
Wow. Wow.
And I put a dab on there, so if I fall over.
From his hometown.
From Charleston, South Carolina, and it is really hot. And now I'm going to start hiccuping, and this is going to be really funny. So, the easy answer is they could have just said 100%.
Yep.
But they got to do it. So the percentages don't matter if nobody does anything. That would be my correct answer.
Oh,
Do you know, that's a really good answer.
Wrong.
Well, the official answer was the UK had actually pledged a 68% reduction
whoa!
by 2030.
Should have known that.
Yeah.
Should have guessed that.
68%.
One less than 69.
68%.
Okay,
They should have gone for 69.
Well, so I was the closest with 20.
yeah, but
That's-
still,
The closest without going over.
Yeah.
hang on. What we should do is we should go back and visit this question and see who was the closest at the end on their pledge date. Because I think I'll be closer, or Jacob would be. It was his guess.
Yeah,
Question is,
something
who's
got to
done
do
what
with
so
this.
far, right?
We could maybe see who could remember what their answer was.
We can get Nick noting that down. For those that are wondering, actually, May King is hosting tonight. She was co-hosting with Nick Looby, which many of you will be very familiar with. But Nick, well, he's up in the Hebrides in Scotland, hidden away, and he's got very poor internet connection. So he's joining us, he's watching, but he's not here presenting. He's left it all down to May King. I think it's a fob off, May. I think he's down the pub or something like that. Anyway, back over to you. What's next?
All right.
Oh, man.
Now we're representing various industries here. I guess what we can do is talk about what have you changed this year to reduce your carbon footprint and how it has affected your life. So let's go with Connor, actually. Let's put him on the spot a little bit.
Get your own salt out, Connor.
And get your own sauce out, yes, and try your own sauce whilst you're answering that question. So just to repeat the question, what have you changed this year to reduce your carbon footprint and how has it affected your life? And if you just also talk about the industry that you're representing as well, I think that would that'll be useful to the viewers here.
So from about June, July last year, we really had a detailed look at our packaging and went for glass packaging and fully recyclable stick-on labels, as well as cardboard boxes, kind of the zero kind of non-biodegradable plastics. Ingredient-wise, local ingredient sourcing, like some of the beetroot we source is literally from 14 miles away. And the processing of that happens within about a 50-mile radius as well. So it's huge reduction on the carbon footprint with vehicle emissions and less travel. Going forward, we pledge to continue to not go down the squeezy bottle route because these things aren't fully recyclable, and especially lids as well. We all know that from bottled water companies that have this 100% recycled packaging, however, that excludes the lid. So although some of the sauces would easily pour out of the bottles or squeeze out the bottles with plastic, we are completely against that regardless. So we will be sticking to the routes that we go down. As far as what it's done for the business, the plant-based side of things with the business, a lot of people love the plant-based side, but if it was plastic bottles at the same time, the plant-based custom, I think there'd be a reduction of about 50% of my customers, because it's just as important to them to keep the packaging eco-friendly as it is to use plant-based products.
Yeah.
And ingredients.
Love that. Thanks, Connor. Craig, do you want...
He's got to eat. He's
course.
Connor, it's your own salt. You've got to put...
I gave the last of it to you.
Oh, let me pass it back to you. Here you go. You're up there. All right.
Oh, amazing.
That's really good.
Craig, shall we go on to yourself and Impossible Foods?
Well, I mean, I haven't really tanked a ICE, so a car with an engine, since 2008. So that's sort of where I kicked it off. And then this year I've done a lot more bike riding, and I've done a lot more, let's say, aware eating, right? So it means, the plant-based and what I do in the plant-based space is critical. And then everything around that, I agree totally with Connor, have to make sure that the packaging is right as well, right? Because that's not only part of the waste that goes out into the world, but it's also keeping us from getting to the end consumer, right? Because you can travel from the farm and put all that great taste in and make a great marketing campaign, but if it arrives there in plastic, then you have to make sure that plastic can be dealt with, right? Or another solution. So I've also reduced all the plastic in my bathroom this year. So everything in my bathroom is non-plastic. So I'm using hard soaps. I mean, I don't really have that much to work with, so don't give me a hard time. But I mean, basically getting rid of all of these things. What I did realize is that all of these companies are very happy to do a really nice branding on one of their plastic bottles or one of their deodorants or whatever, but at the same time they don't want that brand to be seen in a trash dump, right? So that's where I said, then I'm gonna get away from plastic in the bathroom, and I'm trying to get my girls to do that too. So I would say that's what I've done mainly.
And I like to see these bars that are cropping up now where you can go and you refill all your stuff. I think that's just such a great way of of reusing sort of packaging and stuff. I think it's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to pop some chili on your. Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah. You were answering a question.
Yeah. Okay, but then I'll add something. Using a hard shampoo. I try to figure it out though. A hard shampoo, so in a bar, costs more than the shampoo in a plastic container. So figure that out. That's an interesting one.
Oh wow, really? Wow,
yeah,
that's
now,
interesting.
Because it has to do with volume, so we have to make sure we flip that over, right? So here's my.
Go on. What is that one?
I got Michael Jordan here with me. I'm in pain, guys. I mean, I've been doing push-ups with these things all day, so this is a real workout.
Oh, that's incredible. Now, Keith, you're from the advertising and media industry. Viewers of our last show will know quite a lot of the things that you've done to help the climate. But let's remind our viewers what your business does and also what you do on a personal level.
Okay, well, I'm going to first of all just go straight to the chilies, the actual sauces here. This is if anyone watches the Hot Ones show, this is their last dab, which is in fact my number 2 out of 3 sauces. So I'm going to volume 11 after this, referencing the fantastic Spinal Tap image behind you there, making. So this is the last dab. So let me just get it. This is a vegan nugget as well. So that's the first thing I've started to do is I've switched to a plant-based diet, a vegetarian diet.
Oh, nice crunch.
That was a good crunch, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, that's got a kick.
Beautiful.
Right. So that's my big thing is that this year I've gone vegetarian, but I've been interviewing on my show legendary people from the world of advertising, and I think it's important to realize that my business, the advertising industry, is all about creating demand, and we're trying to reduce consumption. So those two things do not work hand in hand. But if you speak to the people that run these agencies and stuff, they absolutely argue against that. They say, of course there is a way to do it, because the people that they are employing now, the young talent that's coming through, they don't want to work with brands. They don't want to work for agencies that aren't doing the right thing for the planet. So there's a kind of a sort of a moral obligation for the agencies to do to do the right thing, and then for the agency then to work with clients and brands that inspire them, that are also doing the right thing for the planet. So I think, there's a lot to be said. I know everybody says, well, the advertising industry is all about, just waste, creating more and more waste. But I would argue that from the people that I've spoken to, I think there's a very large percentage of agencies out there, certainly in the UK and in the US, that are very, very conscious about working with the right brands for the right reason. So that's my piece.
Absolutely love that, Keith. Shall we go on to Jacob next? You're a musician. You've been busking up and down the country. What have you done? What have you changed this year to reduce your carbon footprint? We've heard from, musicians like Coldplay, who's next tour. They pledged to be carbon neutral. Billie Eilish is doing her bit as well. What are you doing in your life as a musician?
I guess it's trying to do lots of little things that I guess go together to go a further way, and I think that's a lot of what people need to try to do as well, to make it little steps up, if you know what I mean, and that kind of thing. So little things such as, I used to, when I go around busking, I'd go to like Poundland or whatever and buy myself a bottle of water and stuff like that. Whereas now I'll bring my own bottle with me and then refill it when I get home, which is in turn, although it's not much for one, but if I'm busking multiple times a week, it's doing that. And other things such as, I brought an EP out a few months ago, and I could have gone the cheaper way and brought out a plastic one, but I've gone for I can't remember the official term for it, but it's a digipack that's made out of cardboard, and it's much easier, much more easily recyclable, and little things like that I guess I'm just trying to do to try and help out in little ways.
Amazing. Thanks for that, Jacob. And don't forget to eat your next sauce there. And we'll go on to David, who's representing SMEs and businesses as a whole.
So I'm going to upgrade now. Just to make sure I get this right, Connor. This is beat the hot sauce, or do I going to go for beat the heat?
Hot sauce.
So we're going to go for the hot sauce.
Is that what you've just had, Jacob?
It is just what I'm currently having.
I'm having more. What's it like, Jacob? Is it worth blowing my head off for? I'm just getting some out of the. Is it good? This is really nice. This is like Heinz ketchup on steroids.
I'm starting to regret keeping on dipping it in because it's getting more spicy, but it is
right.
Really
okay,
nice.
There we go. Let me just mop it in. There we go.
There you go. That's a nice.
That's not enough, David.
Oh.
That's better.
Oh my gosh.
So let me have a. God, it's making my eyes water already.
Oh.
Okay.
So this is the hot sauce, is it?
Yeah, this is
This is hot sauce,
yeah.
right?
This one's
certainly on the up.
Quite
Still
enjoyable.
really nice. It's still got a lovely taste.
It's tasty.
Unlike some hot sauces that just blow your mouth out.
Nah, I aim for full flavour here.
Oh, fantastic, Connor.
That's very good. Right, back while I'm finishing munching to the question. So working with businesses and SMEs, what we are seeing is that people are being a bit more frugal. Obviously, they want to do cost savings. We know there's a massive economic issue that's around the whole world, and certainly here in the UK, businesses are finding they're having to think smarter as well to reduce their outgoings, energy costs and stuff like that. So some of the things that I am doing, like Craig, I drive an electric car, but I've only just moved across to that. It is a Tesla, Craig. I hope you'll be, glad to know that, which I got last year. So that was one of my first steps. And to be honest, it was the fuel prices going up, but also being a tech fan, I just wanted the iPad to drive the car. That was the main reason. And it's fantastic. So Ellen, when you are ready to come on the show and do the hot sauce challenge, we'll welcome you here and we can talk Teslas and SpaceX and all that great stuff. So yeah, go into an electric vehicle, but I'm walking a lot more. I am literally now doing well over 15,000 steps on an average day without fail. And so I am moving around a lot more, going out there, not jumping in the car to drive around the shops, even though the impacts are less. To be honest, I can't bother to untether it. It's just quicker to walk around the shops rather than get it all ready to go. But other things, recycling. We spoke about this on a number of occasions. I'm recycling a lot more, thinking much, smarter about what things I can recycle, what I can't recycle. Like Connor was saying, we try to buy things that we know can recycle. We recycle every piece of glass that we get, any piece of plastic and cardboard that can be recycled, whether it's business waste or whether it's personal waste, we will source through that. The other thing here, it's in various parts of the UK. We've got this scheme called Locase, which is government funding. £10,000 is available to SMEs. They get 40% of that back from the government. So if they want to install things like LED lighting, and they can actually then recover some of that cost, 40% of that cost, up to 10,000. Is that hot, Keith? Up to 10,000.
You all right, Keith?
Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. God.
Don't touch anything.
So up to £10,000, 40% of that. That's a scheme that's running around the UK. I'd imagine other governments around the world have similar things, but I have full LED lighting. There's not one single bulb in my house that's not an LED bulb. And to be honest, not a smart bulb either. So I can control that, and lights will go on and off as you enter rooms and stuff like that. So
really? Wow.
What?
That's great. That's good. That's really interesting. So your whole house is LED lighting?
My whole house. Wow. And in fact, I've got it connected to one of my smart devices. And if I was to ask her, she'd turn my lights on for me, or off, or dim them, or brighten them. So it's great. It's a gadget thing. I'm a gimmick. I love technology. And that's one of the things that drove me. But of course, it's helping save the environment. And I suppose the last thing, and I only really picked this up in our last Beat the Heat show, actually, or The Heat is On, is about accountability, my environmental policy. I had one in the business, but did I take it seriously? Really? Did I? Probably not. Do most businesses? Probably they don't. But now, after our last show, I'm calculating the output and offsetting. Planted a few trees. Little things make big differences. And finally, Craig, I love this one. Near to me, about a mile away, walkable, but it was the first electric charging forecourt in the world. And it's called GridServe, and it's absolutely amazing. Using it a lot for business meetings. Right. But all of their energy that they're producing there is obviously offset. They're using solar farms to produce a lot of electricity. So when I need to, Tesla chargers and GridServe charge, I can go there, I can charge up, and I know that I'm charging pretty much on green energy or offset energy as well. So that's another box. I've probably got 101 more to go. I'm gonna stop there and let someone else jump in.
No, you have to drink a sauce for every single one of those,
I'll tell you what, I'll go back in.
We're going to do this right.
There we go. I'll go back in for a dip of that one.
There you go.
Good man.
No, I actually tried the hot sauce myself, and it's beautiful, Connor. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm going to mention the elephant in the room because a couple of weeks ago, when I knew that I was going to be a part of The Heat is On, I did a little video which I put on LinkedIn, and I looked in the supermarket and there was some turkey dinosaurs. So I thought I'd do a little video, a little quip about hope that we can have these conversations and make sure that we're not extinct like the dinosaurs. And quite rightly, Craig, I hope you don't mind me saying, you sort of pulled me up on that and said, well, do we really want to be promoting a company that, where animal welfare is not on their highest agenda? So I did want to bring that up a little bit. We've called it Dinosaur Gate.
And the dinosaurs creating so much trouble still these days, and they're not even around.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I did want to bring this up in all seriousness, because the things that I've done as my contribution to the planet is I chose not to have children, but I am a big fat carnivore. But I am trying meat-free Wednesdays, and I did try the plant-free bites, which are not too bad. Now, animal welfare. We had a great discussion, actually, Keith, David, Nick, and myself about this, because seitan, for example, which is a meat-free alternative. One of the key ingredients in producing seitan is soy, and China, for example, is produces, I think, about 40% of of soy at the moment. So with people wanting to look at meat-free alternatives, aren't we running into a struggle with can you sort of give a little bit of idea into for those people who are staunch carnivores, okay, and want to help on the planet, what is it that we ought to be doing? Because as I say, when I studied about meat-free alternatives, the planet doesn't have enough to produce what a direct replacement, just like we don't have enough lithium to produce the right number of cars that for everyone on the planet. I don't know if you wanted to comment on that, Craig.
I have to drink something first, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And while you're drinking or setting yourself up, this is why Keith and I are on separate teams, because in Dinosaur Gate, in a nice way, but we were debating, weren't we, Keith? We had opinions, and everyone's entitled to opinions, and we had discussions. We're still very good friends, and we kiss and made up, so we're fine. But we did have different ways that we viewed it. And I was going to add one thing. I went away to Centre Parks this week, and I put this in an email to Keith this morning. And I don't eat meat every day, maybe a couple of times a week. But this weekend we went away and we tried fake bacon. I mean, it's the only way I can describe it. Bacon. And there was 8 of us that tried it. And not one of us could even palletize it. It was awful. It was worse. You know what? The feedback was it smelt like dog snacks. And it did. It was awful. Until bacon can be bacon, I'm going to stick to the real thing that goes oink oink.
But there you go. You just did it in a nutshell, right? It has to taste good, right? So just taking the electric car analogy, right? Tesla didn't go out there and say, hey, this is an electric car, go and drive it. They said, drive this car. And then they drove it. They said, this is amazing. And then they said it's electric. So you have to create an alternative that tastes like the real thing or as close to it as possible, because, there's a lot of vegans and vegetarians that have been doing a lot of heavy lifting for us all for a while now, right? But now we have to get to the carnivores making. And so that's the critical thing. So I come back to your point about, is there enough plants to do that yet for humans? Yes, there is, because most of the soy on the planet is raised not to feed humans, but it's raised to feed animals. So as you take the animal out, you're able to replace that soy with the better soy that you can make better tasting, that you can, or other plant that you can serve to human beings, and you can take that land also and reforest it or rewild it, like in the UK. So you need less food when we're not competing with the animals that we raise to eat. So if you look at the statistics, since I've been on the planet, which is over 50 years now, we've more than doubled the population, and we've more than doubled the population of all the animals that we eat, by at the same time reducing all the wildlife by half. So you see where this goes. And if we want to compete with the animals that we're feeding to eat, then we won't make it. And our wildlife certainly won't make it. So it comes into, it's not a question of talking about the welfare of the animals. It's talking about, again, the topic, the welfare of humans, and if we're going to be able to make it. So find alternatives that taste good, take these steps, small steps, and corporations have to have courage to create new alternatives. Political will has to be generated to support moving in that direction, like we did with solar energy or wind energy. Now the EV has taken over as of 2035, or at least the emission-free vehicle, because we won't have any more ICEs in Europe, for instance, from 2035. And so I think that we have to start the journey. And once the journey starts, then it starts to pick up steam, right? It should not be based on all the stuff it's going down to make us feel bad about making change. It has to be the other way around. It needs to be an alternative that tastes good and you're doing something good at the same time.
Yeah, I've got to echo that as well, actually. And firstly,
You got to eat something first, though, Keith. Sorry, I know I'm on your team. That totally sucks. But I mean, I like to see you sweat, Keith.
For soldiering through that answer without even flinching on his sauces. So that's good. I'm actually saving my last sauce for the next round. Or is this the round? This is the round, is it?
Yeah, just don't worry. You can go double dipping.
Just go for it. Go for it.
It's called the last dab, but you can do the last 2 dabs.
Well, and I think that something that's very important to say about this, and David and I covered this in our conversation, was that the fake, and of course it is, of course it's wrong, all right, because you're trying to replicate bacon, all right, and bacon is an amazing taste, but the plant-based alternatives need to have a kind of they need to have flavor.
Welcome to Breaking Bad.
So yeah, and I think if we're trying to, if we're actually trying to replicate bacon, I think we have a problem. But a lot of the a lot
that
of
looks really dangerous.
There we go.
Good luck, Keith.
Look at that baby.
What do you do with it now?
It's going in there. This is called, by the way, this is called flatline. All right, the end.
Kevin, oh my gosh! But hold on a second. I have to come in with this.
It's actually
Kevin Bacon was in Flatline.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
Kevin Bacon was in
Flatliners.
Yeah.
Right? And you know what Flatliners is about? If you eat that, you're gonna do a Kevin Bacon in Flatliners.
Oh,
So you better be careful.
But don't worry, he come back. He come back. It was fine. He just
But somebody resuscitated him, so I hope he's got some help there.
right.
Do you have assistance, s'il vous plaît? There is a very, very good fake bacon. Alternative bacon from France, by the way. I know that's not going to go over well in England, but in the UK. But
Anything's better than the one from England. It tastes terrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
I've had it, and it's
It was like
it looked like my kids made out of Play-Doh.
Yeah. And I'll tell you,
there's solutions coming. There's some really, really good stuff coming. And
I'm going to be really honest here that I don't know if I told the rest of the group while we were at Centre Parks, but I did the shopping online. We did a click and collect, so it was all ready and fresh. And I went with the special offer, the club card special. Thanks, Tesco's. 2 for £3.50. I thought, great, it's on special offer. Didn't think any more of it until it turned up and it said non-meat and vegan. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but we'll give it a go. Never again. Not that one anyway.
Yeah, but you got there's some other alternatives out there, right? And I already named one of them.
Yeah, but it's
my product.
From France, and I assume I can't buy it here.
That's the bacon. That's the bacon. But you can go out and get nuggets. You can go out and get these nuggets already in the UK.
Okay.
And they're awesome.
And I got to say, the nuggets are spectacular. I mean, because if you know, chicken nuggets never used to look like bits of chicken anyway.
They still don't, look.
No. So
Keith, you're bleeding out of your left eye. You're bleeding out of your left eye, Keith.
Anyway, Keith, have you taken a bite of this yet?
Yeah.
Who are you holding up?
I'm going in for the second bite now.
And your hair is growing.
Oh, by the way, just for those that don't realise, I am in the kitchen tonight.
I'm steaming up in here.
I'm in the kitchen.
Very nice.
The heat is on in the kitchen.
Oh my god!
Well, I
just don't touch anything.
I accidentally hit the beat the heat, and I'm absolutely crying right now, Connor.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
But it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Beat the heat. Is that the one? I'll give it a shake.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's the.
Oh gosh.
Well, I need a question making. Anything?
Oh, okay. Right. Think 5 years ahead.
God,
What will we? What will we be doing differently, and what will that look like? David, over to you.
And I was just about to put that in my mouth, and I saw Connor wince at me like,
It was a bit-
you are mad.
Do it. Do
Right.
it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
You said a teaspoon, Connor. That's a good look.
Wowzers.
Oh, this is gonna
Yeah,
be awesome.
that's a good amount. That should be fine for you.
That should be fine. That will see you through.
Nice knowing you, David.
So I'll bite.
And while he's
Always warming up. Mm. Oh, that's good. It's got a kick. Oh, it's burning down now.
Connor,
Okay.
where can people get these sauces?
Yeah, tell us, Connor. Let's kill everybody else on the planet. That was gone down.
Well, later on this year, hopefully end of September, everything going well, I'll have e-commerce set up so we can order direct from the website, and possibly an Amazon platform with the wholesale side of things. So firstly, the original sauce will be coming available, and hopefully not long after the hot. And there's also a spicy mayo as well, which is a spicy beetroot vegan mayonnaise. Yeah, there's a lot more products to come. There's some salt, seasonings, rubs. There's about 16 or 17 different products. So not just a one-trick pony here. And it's all about flavour. We'll never reduce the cost of the product to reduce the quality of the ingredients. It will always be the best of quality and up there with the rest of the premium stuff.
I will say, it's got a good kick to it. My mouth is watering, but it's got a good taste to it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
OPT with that amount on the nugget. Maybe
So
a little bit
that
less
sauce-
would have been wise.
That sauce, David, that sauce is the original sauce, ramped up to the hot sauce, ramped up to the challenge, beat the heat sauce. So there's
Wow.
literally between the original sauce and the last one there, beat the heat, there is 4 additional ingredients. And that's why you're still getting that kind of quality and flavours through.
Any idea on the Scoville Val where that might?
Well, with Reaper Pepper, Carolina Reaper Pepper being up close to 2 million, I think. And you've got...
Okay, that explains it then. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, you're probably not far off a really like bargain pepper spray. So
Jacob, no laughing. You're on my team. It's your turn.
and you're next, Jacob.
I'm going to go now. So
Now, Jacob, you'll be able to sing like the Bee Gees after this one.
In fact, hey King, it is a really good time. Why I'm thinking, I'm cooling my mouth down. That it's a good time to talk about Jacob and let Jacob kind of introduce. Because one of the things we wanted to do with StreamAid as a collaborative team, and everybody that's going to support it and be involved, was to reach the masses, get people talking, but get people having conversations, get people sharing, debating, deliberating, having their own opinions, because that's what makes healthy conversation. And after Jacob, I met Jacob last year, and he come onto our chat box show with myself and Nick, talked about his amazing journey, traveling around the country, busking, raising money for charity. I went to Jacob and said, Jacob, this is what we're doing with StreamAid. Would you love to, would you like to, would you be able to create an anthem for us for StreamAid? And Jacob went, no hesitation. There probably was, just a very tiny one. He went, sure, love to.
Just a bit.
And that's what's been happening behind the scenes. We've been creating, or Jacob's been creating and writing a anthem for StreamAid, which we're going to play a snippet of, because it's not out until 1st of July,
Yes.
Jacob? Is that our release date?
that's the one, 1st of July.
So I haven't got to talk at this point because, God, it's getting hotter. Tell us a little bit about what you've come up with and what you've created, because it's a marvellous piece. I've been listening to it for the last week and a half. Tell us a little bit about it and how you devised it and who's involved in it.
I'm really worried. I'm not looking for... I'm worried now. So,
Tell us about it
It's over.
first, then you can add your chili sauce while we play a bit of the video.
all right, so the song, it's a track called "The World Is Ours." That's something that I've been having on a completely separate note, a big debate about as to whether it's, because where I'm from, you say the world is ours, but I feel like everyone else in the world says the world is ours. So that's been something that I still don't know what I'm saying, so I've gone in the middle. But The World Is Ours, that's the name of the song. And I wrote the song and then got in touch with a band, an alt rock band called Nova Story, who I'm good friends with, and asked if they wanted to do the song as a duet. So that's what ended up happening. It's a lot rockier than anything I've done before, but hopefully people enjoy it. As I say, it's The World Is Ours featuring Nova Story.
It's a crack.
Okay. I need to just wipe my nose there.
Come on, VJ. Hit it.
Right. So let's see the first. Maybe we'll give a minute away here, Jacob. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll play it, but it's not out till the 1st of July. And when it's out, what we're looking for is for everybody to get behind this song, support it, because this is going to be the anthem for Stream Aid Live. It's going to help Jacob on his musical journey as well. And by the way, if you haven't heard Jacob, you can get all his stuff. We'll get all his YouTube channels and everything in a minute. But I've got postcard he kindly sent me here. This is not bribery, by the way. One of his latest tracks. Awesome music. But for me, this is just an amazing track. Let's put it up there. Let's have a listen. Let's boogie on down. Is that the right words? Is that not very hip and hot these days? Here we go.
Why does it feel so cold when it's too warm outside? Why do we turn away as the water starts to rise? Why do we push others down as we're floating in the tides? So what's the point in waiting if we just don't have the time? But we're standing in the fire. We can put it out if we keep on shouting. So show me you got the power to change. If it showers or showers, nothing can get in your way. The world is ours.
And we're going to leave it there. We don't want to give too much of it away, but I hope you liked it. I mean, I think it's amazing.
Really good, and good video work there, David.
Well, yeah, I did kind of last minute kind of put some bits and pieces together. We've got a video. That's not going to be our final video because we've already discussed some updates, some changes, some alterations. But when we get to the 1st of July, when the anthem is released, we're going to have a great video to go with it. We're going to have Jacob playing his guitar, singing as well. It's all being put together as we speak in the background. And we're going to share this. It's big news. It's a big PR opportunity for yourself and for Stream Aid. But how can people listen to what you're doing currently? How do they kind of Spotify? What's the best place for people to go?
There's a strong chance my words might stop working now because my mouth is burning.
It is, isn't it? I told you it's warm.
Worst bit is I've managed to eat it on one side of my mouth, so one side of my mouth is fine, and the other side is just in pain.
Stroke or something.
Sorry, what was the question?
How can people listen to all your great content, your music, YouTube, Spotify? Look, there we go. Look,
there we go.
Already.
Yeah, so to find my stuff, if you happen to be on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, it's Jacob Reddy Music. I always have to say that Reddy is spelled R-E-D-D-Y because people forget or don't know or wouldn't, because that's not how I see my words aren't working now. It's all going wrong. So it's Jacob Reddy Music on your social media platforms. And then to actually listen to my music on whatever streaming platform you happen to be on, even YouTube, it's just it's Jacob Reddy.
There we go. And of course, people want to start looking up, finding you, following you on these platforms because the 1st of July we're releasing this track, and we want to get it to go viral. We need your help, all our listeners and viewers, wherever you are, to support it. And let's see if we can get it trending. And let's see if we can make it number one. That'll put Jacob absolutely at the top of his game. And but also it's going to be a great support for Stream Aid Live as well. And this is a non-profit. We're not making any money out of it. And if we do happen to make any money out of it, then we'll find some way of helping good causes and doing something great. That was always the condition of creating this. It wasn't a one little dime or cent or penny for charity in any way, shape, or form. So, Jacob, look so forward to that and being part of that journey. May King, sorry, I've kind of taken over, but I thought it was so important.
That's okay.
Out there.
No, that was a great segue there. And hopefully you've got your words back, David. So we were thinking about 5 years ahead and what do you think we will be doing differently as business owners and SMEs?
Smart. I think we're going to be better educated for the likes
sauce.
Okay, I've gone through Connor's 3, and I will say they were amazing. But I also did promise the South Devon Chilli Farm, who kindly sent me some sauces. I said I'll do it. Now I've got 4 of them here. I'll let you guys choose. Do you want me to go for the Ghost, the Reaper, the Scorpion, or the it just says chili sauce?
Which one? The Reaper.
Yes.
The Reaper.
Thanks for that. So while I'm unpeeling this and still getting over my burned mouth already, I think for me, we're going to be smarter. We're better educated through the likes of people, like Craig, who are, educating us and making us think differently as well. But I think business will become more technology orientated. So we're going to be able to use tech to manage our carbon footprint, to get us to carbon neutral. I think we're going to be able to implement technology to reduce, even things like planning a journey, smarter planning for logistics companies, making sure that they're doing the best routes to do the drop-offs, electric vehicles. I think a lot of businesses now I'm going to go for this. I think a lot of businesses now are going for electric vehicles, or if they are able to. So I just think we're going to all work smarter in the home. We're going to be smarter in the home. Those that work from home, small businesses that work from their garage, their shed, their back bedroom, or their dining room table, they're going to implement LED lighting, ground source heating, all that type of stuff that's going to save energy, save cost, and get us being better. I'm just dipping now, by the way, giving it a good dip.
I agree.
It's more of a liquid sauce, so it's not like you get big chunks of it. God, this smells quite hot.
I think it's quite an interesting observation, that as well. And funnily enough, actually, it reminds me about a while ago, I was asked to write a piece about 40 years into the future. This was a couple of years ago, what we were going to be doing. And I genuinely think that absolutely David's right, that we will be doing a lot more of this kind of stuff. I mean, this will be very commonplace for everybody to meet. So there's going to be a lot more kind of global collaboration going on. But I think the other thing as well is that the printing, the sort of 3D printing thing is very kind of undervalued at the minute. The ability to be able to produce our own widgets and our own things to replace gadgets and stuff like that, I think it would be quite important. So I think, that seeing a lot more kind of self-sufficiency, I guess that's really what I'm trying to say over the next couple of years, is that we're going to be doing a lot more kind of home, managing things for ourselves, finally realizing that we can't rely on governments or whatever who are limiting us to 1 or 2 or 3 things, that we're going to be a lot more kind of self-sufficient. And that is something that I think is great, and I can only encourage. Craig, you're crying, my friend. Was that so emotional?
Yeah, you choked me up.
Look at me. I'm down to kale now. I've eaten my thing. I'm now eating a piece of kale with chili on it.
You can take the
sizzle when you put it on there. It's like sizzle.
I thought you were going to break out and do Thriller by Michael Jackson with the one glove on there.
That'd be a thriller. Yeah.
Just to say, by the way, I've opened up the other one here, the Ghost sauce. I thought I'd give it a go, so I'm just going to have a dip in that.
Does that mean you're going to say something again?
Well, I wasn't going to.
I was going to respond.
I'll eat for you.
Yeah, you do that. I'm just going to try this 357 Mad Dog Magnum with a bullet on it. I mean, seriously. And since this is probably the last time I'm going to talk, I'm just going to do that much.
Oh, my word.
And it is already It's a nightmare.
So, Connor,
So-
what tips have you picked up? What things can you strap to your bottles? Bullets, skulls?
Yeah, dog tags, whatever you want, whatever's left
Whoa.
for the person that eats it.
Roll of that.
Beetroot.
Holy man.
Yeah, we're all in pain.
It says 9 million. It says 6 million Scoville.
Oh my.
700. Okay. I'll say what I was going to say. Asking 5 years in the future is a silly question. Because we hardly get companies to look 3 months, 1 quarter in the future. The human being only lives at one instant now. So all we're doing is imagining things, but they don't happen if we don't focus.
And if I was
Well,
you,
right
Brett,
now-
I wouldn't plan 5 years in the future. I don't know if you're going to make 5 minutes.
Are you breaking
What I'm
up?
trying to say is,
Or is
what
that-
I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to be aware at this very moment of how hot this is. And I'm trying to think in 5 years how hot it's going to be.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I don't want to think about that. I have to make decisions now. Now, the decision I should have made was not eating that. But you guys had this really idea, and I tell you what, it's just so hot. But my real answer is, I read this yesterday in Twitter. In 1930, John Maynard Keynes said that in 2030 we'd be working 15 hours a week. He said that in 1930. In the 50s, the Club of Rome said that we have a limit of growth on the planet. And the US uses 5 Earths a year. Just the US. So again, back to the issue, it's useless to talk about the future and whatever it looks like if we don't think about like right now, and everyone's not aware right now of making decisions like not eating as much as I just did of that hot stuff.
Very well said, Craig.
Appreciate that, Craig. Connor, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that at all.
I think what Craig said, or partially said, is right. I think it's absolutely right that in 30 years' time, there'll be 6 people, 7 people like us having the same chat about what they're going to do in 20 years' time. It doesn't make a difference unless you do something now about it. It's purely about acting in the day that you're in and making a change every day. So all these little days and these little changes amount to big change, and that can come a lot sooner with small acts, tiny little things like Jacob was saying that he's using packaging that's friendly for recycling, or just 1 bottle of water. But 1 bottle of water times 100 million people is huge. You've pretty much got to start a movement here for things like this to get better, and spreading the word is probably the best way to do so. And you can implicate change that way.
And you've
Connor, did you eat a hot sauce?
You've got young
No,
kids.
I'm the only one that's enjoying watching you all do this.
He's the only one really in this moment being conscious.
Yeah. I'm
got
fully
young
aware of my own feelings and nerve endings right now.
I don't know why, but I think all these hot sauce I've had are building up and they're making a volcano.
That's also bad for the planet.
Yeah.
I've got one nugget left, by the way, so I'm going to have to do something with it. But my tongue is burning.
David, your new name's Dante's Peak.
Yeah, I'm about to explode.
Connor, you have young kids, don't you?
Yes, I've got a 2-year-old boy and a 4-year-old boy.
Right. Excellent. And so, what we're basically all doing here is we're kind of, unless we take any action now, just like you said, we're all going to be delegating it to Jacob's generation to try and look after your kids, which I think is wrong.
Exactly. And that's why it's most important for me. It's not so much around myself that it's important for this. It's that the taxes that are getting implemented now with increase in vehicle emissions, etc., not strict enough schemes to get people into electric vehicles. The diesel scrappage scheme was a massive failure. It's just came back, and more diesel production's still being done at the moment. So I don't want my kids having to feel the brunt of this because it's costly. And well, look at right now, for example, it's cheaper to have a candle on in the house than it is your electric. There's a lot. This is no joke. There's some people living via candlelight right now, and that's not something I want for my kids. I want my kids to be comfortable, and in a way, that's why I'm doing the business that I'm doing, so I can be more than comfortable, but at the same time, I can implement my own change and express and share my own views on things, and hopefully make an impact to people to make a difference.
Well said.
Well said.
Keep making those sauces. You'll be a millionaire.
Don't you worry, sunshine.
And changing the world. I don't know how many reviews you're going to get, though, Connor, because on that hot one, people might not want to respond because they can't.
I think Craig's nothing up there.
I mean, seriously, I'm sweating down my back. And I'm not joking.
You were playing tennis before this, Craig. Come on.
I'm not joking. I don't even need bottled water anymore. I just do like on Dune, you know, I recycle my own body water and then just breathe it in through my nose.
On that note,
it used to be we had our kids pay for the wars, right? You know, that's where taxes came from, was letting the future people pay for the wars we fight now. And now we do the same thing.
I know, you're just
to our kids about the planet, and it's more than money now. So I think that
we repeat history over and over again. History has been repeated over and over again. Everything that everybody said they wouldn't do again, they've done again. And this goes as far as them starting to mine coal, etc., and do just repeat things time and time again, because it's cost. If it's not cost effective, we'll go back to making changes that are harmful to the environment, unfortunate. So it's all about working that cost down and having things reasonable.
Quite right. King?
I just want to thank everybody for being here and taking part in the Hot Sauce Challenge. David, any parting words before we end this broadcast?
I'm going to go and sit downstairs, find myself the biggest... Well, I've got a beer here, but it feels like it's warmed up. Find myself a nice cold beer. But yeah, just thank you to my teammate, Jacob Reddy. Look really forward to the 1st of July and the anthem being released and being out there in the public domain for everyone to listen to. What we'll do is in a second, as we leave, we'll put on another 30 seconds to see us out, to give another little taster of what's to come in a few weeks' time. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much for everyone being here. Thank you, May King, for hosting today's event. And thank you, Mr. Nick Looby, who's out there somewhere with limited connectivity, but keeping the conversation going. And
thank you, Connor, and thank you, Craig, as well, for Connor for supplying those sources. What a man, what a guy. Fantastic. And Craig, all the way from Germany, you are the man. Thank you very much indeed, Craig.
Thank you for having me here, everyone.
Yeah,
make these choices now, act now.
And even God has thanked Jacob.
I was going to say. There's God.
Thanks.
May King, what was the scores?
Oh,
yeah, who won? Who won?
A draw.
Oh, okay, I'll take that until next time.
A dead heat then.
A dead
heat, that's right.
Let's do mango lassie shots next time.
Let's do. Anyway,
or
on that note, we're going to say good night, goodbye, and catch you all soon. We'll be back very soon with another fantastic episode of The Heat Is On.
Woo!
No,
you can't beat that.
Hey.
We don't have any sound. Why no sound? Let's turn it up.
Boom.
Jacob, you got to...